it is Andrea here at VW Family Farm, and first of all I want to say happy Thanksgiving week. I hope you're all doing fantastic. I want to just take a few minutes with you here in the kitchen and show you some of my favorite recipes, some things I'll be making for Thanksgiving, some old favorites as well as some new things too. So let's get busy. I want to pack a lot of things in this video, so we are going to fly through a lot of this. So obviously we are baking a ham. Ham and meats like that are cured and smoked are not something we eat very often here on our farm, but it is something we like for a special treat. So we're gonna bake that ham, and you'll just have to follow the instructions based on, is your ham, is it a fresh ham, like it's unsmoked, uncured, or is it fully cooked? All that will depend on what type of ham you get, and you probably will either come with instructions or you can find some instructions, like if you buy farm fresh ham, there's all kinds of cooking times and temperatures on the internet. But this one is gonna need to cook for a while. So while it does that, we are gonna make a special glaze that I think is gonna be just awesome. So we're gonna get started on that. So we are gonna take one of my favorite products and we are gonna make like a gravy slash glaze. It's just, I hope it's gonna be delicious. I've been told it is. So you know that I love Squisitos, olive oils, and balsamic vinegars. My friend Jennifer owns the store, and a lot of you have talked to her on the phone. She loves visiting with you guys when you call and order. You can also just order from her website, but that's what I'm going to be using today, is a pineapple balsamic. It's a white balsamic vinegar, and we are going to make a reduction out of this. Now, I'm not a pro at reductions, but let me just say a couple things she warned me about, because she is a pro with all of her products. And you want to do this low and slow, and you don't want to go too far with it. So I'll tell you more about that in just a second, but let's get it cooking. So I'm going to use about that much. I have no recipe for this. I'm not measuring, but she gave me a big bottle because one of her best pieces of advice was, when you're making a reduction and you're new to it, you have a tendency, because what you're doing is you're reducing it down, you're cooking it down, it's going to get thick. And if you keep going with it, just past the certain point, you're going to wind up with like hard candy, almost like caramel. Not hard candy, but more chewy candy, I should say, that will almost like break your teeth off. So you don't want to do that. So you want to stop. So she said, I'm giving you some extra in case you mess up the first time. So I got the big bottle. This is the 750 milliliter. So I just poured like about half of it because she told me she was giving me about twice as much as I needed. So I'm just eyeballing it. And then if this works, I can do it again. If it doesn't, I've got a backup plan. All right, so while we got that simmering, you want to get that just to a very low simmer, and take it slow. Don't go too fast with that. But while that is going, I am going to throw together my favorite rolls. They came from Ben's, actually great grandma, and we've made a video on those before, but I'm gonna throw those together. We will link that video right here so you can go back and watch that. I promise you that will be a hit. So we'll link that here or here or here or wherever it links at. So it's gonna link somewhere. First thing we're gonna do is put our yeast and a little bit of water to activate. Again, there's exact measurements and instructions on that other video. And we're just gonna let that do its thing. All right, so while the rolls are mixing, this is starting to boil. So I am gonna turn it down because I don't want it to just boil real hard. I just want it to barely kind of simmer. So I'm gonna turn that down. That's kind of like medium low, I guess. And we're gonna finish the rolls. So we got the rolls mixed up. I'm actually just gonna leave it in this. If you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, I just wanna say it will literally change your life. Not really, but I do love mine very much. I've had it for several years, but I mix everything in it. So I'm just gonna leave it in this KitchenAid bowl. I'm gonna put it over here where it's warm. It's recommended to grease another bowl with some sort of oil or something, dump that out in it, and then let it rise. But this bowl is plenty good and oiled, and that's just me. I like less dishes. I actually like to cut corners and see if it works, and a lot of times it does. Sometimes it does not, but Ben is behind the camera laughing right now, but sometimes it works out, and I think this is gonna work out. So I'm leaving it in this bowl. Just gonna put it over here where I'm cooking. I've got the ham baking in here, so this will be a warm spot. Got this reducing, so we're good to go there. I'm gonna drape a clean towel over this, let this rise, and then we'll come back to this and do the final step on this in a little while. The recipe, you can go back and watch that video like I told you. It's gonna recommend like an hour and a half for that to rise. That's all gonna depend on the temperature of your kitchen, and if you're doing Thanksgiving cooking, you're more than likely got your kitchen heated up, so it may not take you that long. You might wanna plan for it just so you got plenty of time though. We paused this Thanksgiving cooking because Emily is decorating for Christmas. My mom, when we were growing up, she always decorated like the weekend after Thanksgiving. So all this decorating early is totally new to me. I say, hey, after the last couple years we've had, do what you want. But I just had to draw attention to Ben. Emily has got Ben down there going down the ditch, hanging wreaths on the fence that faces the highway. She can talk that man into anything. He is such a good dad. He's actually worked really hard today, and he was inside at the end of the day, and Emily said, please, Dad, come help me. I can't do this by myself. So there he goes. There they go. Way down there. They're hanging wreaths at the beginning of the property and all the way down to where our driveway is. They're quite a pair. All right, this next recipe, I gotta get the stuff gathered up. I feel like I should put a disclaimer on it. It is literally pretty unhealthy, but it is a huge hit at holiday get-togethers. So I'm gonna show you like the craziest, easiest hack ever to make mac and cheese. So here is my overflow pantry. Buckets, bulk stuff, more around here, more buckets, more food. There's stuff everywhere. Oh, and this is what we're looking for. Okay, so we got our macaroni. Let me get something to weigh it in. So we are gonna take 1 pound of dry macaroni. So if you don't have a way to weigh it, that wound up being about 3 cups. It's not anything super technical. We're gonna put that in the Instapot. So that was 4 cups of water. So now we're gonna put the lid on the Instapot. We're gonna put it on manual pressure for 5 minutes. If you do longer than that, you are going to risk having very gummy pasta that's just kind of one big congealed thing. If you want your pasta to still be in individual noodles but cooked, 5 minutes is about the perfect time. Make sure it's in the sealing position and leave that alone. You're a good dad. You may have a future in design, Emily.
I'm not being in this video.
You're in it right now. The thing is, you look beautiful when you first wake up.
I haven't even brushed my hair today.
I wish I looked like that when I didn't brush my hair. So after it is pressured for 5 minutes, I have pushed the off button, but it'll just keep on the stay warm setting. You don't want to do that. That's when it's going to get overcooked and gummy. You're going to throw something over the top of this pressure release valve, and then you're going to flip that switch. Be careful because that is hot steam, so you don't want to burn yourself. Let all that off, and then we're going to finish this up. All right, this is literally the easiest mac and cheese ever. Again, this is definitely a compromise food, not something we eat all the time, but it is highly requested at family functions, and it is good old Velveeta Mac and Cheese. So for the 1 pound of noodles and 4 cups of water, we're gonna use half of one of these big things of Velveeta, which is 1 pound of Velveeta. You can use the small one too. So we're just gonna chop that up. This was a new package, so it's room temperature. It's really soft. Just get it chopped up so it melts really good. The easiest part of all this is you do not have to drain these. They used up most of the water in the cooking process, so you're not going to drain these at all. You're just going to add half a cup of milk and the 1 pound of Velveeta, maybe some salt and pepper if you want to, and you're gonna mix it right here in the pot. So those noodles are really hot from just being cooked, and so the cheese melts really quickly. That's all there is to it. No draining, nothing, just 5 minutes of cook time. I'm gonna put the lid back on my Instapot until we're ready to eat, and it will keep all that moisture in. It won't dry out and clump up like mac and cheese has a tendency to do. It'll stay good and soft and moist and cheesy and about the same texture that it is right after you cook it. So that's always a big problem with mac and cheese, especially at Thanksgiving. Kind of gets clumpy, and then when you microwave it or try to reheat it somehow, it never quite tastes the same as fresh, and this solves that problem too. So this is literally a mac and cheese hack. Our reduction is looking great, and it is time now to make the rolls out. When it's doubled in size in your pan, thereabouts, it's time to dump it out onto a floured surface and kind of knead some flour in there and make them into rolls. Again, that video we linked earlier in this video. Go check that out. It's all the how-to on to make those rolls, but I'm going to get those done now. And let them rise again. So I'm gonna stop there on the pineapple balsamic because it still looks really runny in the pan, but when I lay my spoon down on the stove and it cools, it gets really thick, and so I don't wanna go too far. So we're gonna stop there. The ham needs about another hour, so I'm gonna wait and put that on right at the end because it'll keep cooking and reducing even if you put it on the ham. So we don't want to turn our ham into something that's not even chewable by going too far. So we're going to stop right there. The rolls are on their second rise. The ham has got 1 more hour. The mac and cheese is done, and it will sit there, and then we're wrapping all this up for some of our holiday favorites. So it turned out fantastic. You can see the mac and cheese didn't just clump all together. It's still really good, really cheesy, and the rolls turned out good. The ham looks great. The reduction is something I'll definitely use again. That turned out really well with the balsamic vinegar. I'll probably do that again, try out some different flavors with different types of meat. Really excited about that. It is time to eat. I will see you guys later. I hope that if it is Thanksgiving time where you are, that you have a fantastic week with your family and friends, and that you think of all the things that you have to be thankful for. And one of those things for us is you guys. We appreciate you so much. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and God bless.